Is Apple TV Plus's new series Murderbot going to be killer or murder? Let's talk about it right now. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Your Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about the brand new Apple TV Plus series, Murderbot. It comes to Apple TV Plus on May 16, 2025, with the first two episodes dropping that day. Episodes 1 and 2 are called Free Commerce and Eye Contact. They're both coming out. They're both 30 minutes long. It is a new Apple TV Plus series. I love Apple TV Plus series. So is this one worth watching? So is this series going to be killer or murder? Well, my hot take is I think you should watch later. I think there are some good bones here, and it could get better, but overall, I thought that this series has some promise, but I did not love how the first two episodes went. I love the cast. I like the effects. I love the parody show that it has in it. But overall, I thought it was pretty slow, not really funny. It kind of struggled to keep my attention. So I am optimistic that it will get better. Apple TV Plus series are generally pretty good. So I imagine it will get better, especially with the pedigree and the cast. But the first two episodes did not hook me, did not catch me. They were a little bit more murderous to get through than I expected. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets better, but right now I am cautiously optimistic. So, all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little about the episodes, a few things I like, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into a recap. So, as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the recap section. If you don't know what happens in these episodes, I would turn off when you get the recap. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler free. Let's try to get to those spoilers. So, Murderbot, the series, focuses essentially on this robot, this synthetic being. He early on kind of develops his own personality and calls himself Murderbot. He is sent to help defend this kind of hippie-ish surveying team, but some of their own interpersonal dramas and some of his own drama kind of start to interact, and we will see if he can keep doing his job while also protecting this group. So, things I liked about this episode. The first, look, I love the cast. It's a great cast. Like, you got Alexander Skarsgård, you got David Dastmalchian, you got Sabrina Wu. I love this cast. I thought they were all really fun, which was maybe kind of surprised that I didn't love this series. I especially love David Dastmalchian. I mean, his character is pretty good, but overall, I was expecting a little bit more from this cast. But the cast is fantastic, so I'm hoping going forward it'll get better. Second thing I love the effects. It's a TV show, but it has really good effects. There's obviously some CG. It takes place in space. It has like CG monsters and things like that. But overall, the effects are pretty good. So it did not really kill my suspension of disbelief. And the sets are really great too. Definitely feels sci-fi. It definitely looks futuristic. Definitely has the right aesthetic. And the last thing I love the parody show. There was a parody show in here that is like a riff on Star Trek, and I loved it. I really wanted to see a lot more. There were only a few scenes in the first few episodes, but every time it came on, I enjoyed it. And it definitely links in a little bit with the kind of like underlying ideas in this series, but I'm hoping that maybe we'll get a full episode of it because I love it. It has a fantastic cast. It's a whole separate fantastic cast, a really funny, over-the-top aesthetic. I enjoyed the parody show more than the actual show. So, all that being said, things I didn't love as much. The first, it's very slow. It's okay. It's building up. It's setting the stage, but a lot of it is kind of like interpersonal drama. A lot of it is like conversation, and paired with the fact that I didn't find it very funny, it felt like a very slow first two episodes, even though they're only half an hour. Second thing I didn't love as much. I already said, not very funny. I was expecting to laugh a lot more. I was expecting this to be, it has like a dry wit to it, kind of, especially some of the responses that the Murderbot says in his head versus what he actually says. I just didn't find it very funny. I wasn't laughing as much. I was laughing during the over the top parody show, but during the actual episode, I mean, there's some laughs here and there, but overall, I was expecting to kind of smile and laugh a lot more. And the last thing I didn't love as much, kind of related to both of those points, it kind of struggles to keep my attention. Maybe you'll love it, but for me, the episodes, I just didn't find them very interesting, so it felt like a slog to go through. It felt a little more murderous than I expected. I'm cautiously optimistic. We will see. But the first two episodes didn't hook me as much as I expected to. So, all that being said, Murderbot comes to Apple TV Plus on May 16, 2025. I think you should wait for it. It's already on streaming, but I think you should wait to see if this is going to get better before you kind of lock in. But if you do watch it, if you do check it out, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I'd love to hear it. I'm going to really quickly go into a recap right now. So if you don't know what happens in these episodes, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So, in Murderbot, you have the Murderbot. I forget what his real name was, but early on he hacks his I think it was called a neurolimiter, neuroinhibitor, or something like that, which means he can basically disregard commands. Murderbots are programmed, so if they disregard commands from people, then they can do it, but they feel intense pain. So generally they comply. This Murderbot uses all of his skills to hack it, become free, but he has to try to blend in because if the company finds out that he is no longer like required to listen, if he has hacked his chip, then they will just recycle him, as you'd expect. So he is trying to kind of like test the limits of his free will, but has to pretend to comply. Now, early on, a group of hippie scientists come in. There's six of them. There's Arada, who's a biologist, Pinley, who's a lawyer, Ratthi, who's an expert on wormhole travel, Mensah, who's kind of the head of the expedition and the expert on terraforming, Gurathin, who's an augmented human. He seems to be kind of like the most cautious. He also seems to be kind of like overseeing a lot of the systems and communications and things like that. And you have, I think, Bharadwaj, I forget her name, but she's a geochemist. So you've got this group of six scientists coming in. They're going to do an expedition on a planet that the company that kind of controls this area, lays claim to, is surveying. And so they get some equipment to do it. They're also required to get a security bot. They don't have a ton of money, so they get this old refurbished unit, which is the Murderbot, the bot that has hacked his system. And so they all go down to this planet. Now, we find out early on that this group of scientists is from something called the Preservation Alliance, which is a planetary commune that's outside of this corporation's territory. There's a little bit of drama. There's a little bit of relation to drama that is lightly explored, but not really. But then there's also some physical drama when two of the scientists, Arada and Bharadwaj, go out to do some surveying. The Murderbot is like watching and he tries to tell them to move when he detects a threat. They ignore him, and eventually a worm comes out. And so Bharadwaj gets injured. He saves them both. But in order to like help Arada like deal with the shock and get her moving because she is like in shock and like frozen, he reveals his face. And his face is Alexander Skarsgård's face. It's a great face. Before that, he had like this helmet on that made him look scary. But when he reveals his face, he looks pretty human. So this causes her to act. They take them back to their camp and start healing Bharadwaj. She is fine. She's hurt, but she'll be fine. And this causes the rest of the group to start to trust him. They weren't like sure about this Murderbot when he saves one of them. Most of the group starts to trust him, except for Gurathin. Gurathin doesn't trust him at all. He's generally a cautious person, and he thinks that something is off about this bot. Now, while they're kind of like figuring out their next steps, they start wondering, why didn't this map that they got maps from the company, why didn't it have any sort of threat or danger on it? And so they start not trusting the company. They think that maybe something is going on there. They try to talk to Murderbot. They try to figure out what's going on. He dodges it successfully, but he also seems to be hiding some stuff. It seems like he is a little bit distracted with this new freedom, so he might not be on the top of his game. They haven't noticed it except for Gurathin, but it is something that might come up later. Now, the Murderbot also starts to have visions of some sort of massacre that it seems like he probably did. You can't really tell. You only get a snippet. You get 7 seconds of it, but it is a first-person perspective of shooting innocent people. Or what we assume they're innocent. We don't know, but it looks like they're probably innocent. Now, after all of this, Mensah comes and talks to him, thanks him for everything and whatnot. She seems like she's impressed with him. She seems like she is trusting him, but I think Murderbot is concerned. He's constantly like wondering like if what he's doing is drawing attention because he has to act normal, and so he thinks that he's like obviously malfunctioning, obviously being different in front of her. She doesn't seem to notice, but we will see. We will see if that comes up later. So episode 2 continues from episode 1. You've got Murderbot being repaired. He took some damage from that worm, so he is being repaired. But Gurathin, because he doesn't trust him, puts him into stasis for his repair. So they talk about it. The whole crew talks about it. They want to go explore a part of the map that's been blanked out. So they're not sure if it's safe, but they feel like they need to explore to figure out what's going on. They said, I think the Mensah definitely goes. I think they said Mensah and Bharadwaj to go out there and survey this area. Now, meanwhile, Murderbot wakes up from his stasis. He realizes a crew has gone out without his knowing. He is worried, and he goes to talk to Gurathin, and Gurathin seems to suspect something. While they're talking, there's a lot of talking between Murderbot and Gurathin here. It was fun. It was a little bit of cat and mouse here as they're trying to figure out what all is going on. But we find out that we find a little bit more about the Preservation Alliance, where this team of scientists are from. And I guess their core tenant, they don't have security bots there because they believe that AI are people. So I think they treat everyone maybe equally. That could be why this group seems to be embracing Murderbot more than he would expect. I bet they'll find some interesting ideas once they find out that his limiter chip is not there, but I bet that'll be much later down the line. Now, we find out that Gurathin is generally a suspicious person, and he started to kind of question whether Murderbot was working right when he asked Bharadwaj something to try to comfort her. While they were walking back, he asked her like some normal questions like, "Hey, what planet are you from?" Um, he says that that's not normal behavior, and Murderbot tries to play it off as like, "Oh, I've been programmed for that," but he's like, "Well, that's weird. When did you get programmed?" We find out that he learned about it from that parody show. There was a show where someone got injured, and the person, like, to try to like take their mind off of it, asked them those questions. So he took that and used it, but this triggered Gurathin's suspicion. So Gurathin then he's an augmented human, so he has the ability to like interact with machines. He tries to probe some of Murderbot's archives, and Murderbot judos him by sending him a feed of a few of the scientists getting ready to have a threesome. So this kind of throws Gurathin off, but it shows that they are going to be kind of like playing cat and mouse throughout. Now, while they're talking, there is a security ping from the hopper, the one that's out there exploring. Murderbot connects to the feed, and we see that Mensah seems to be having problems. She is having a panic attack. She's having trouble going up this hill. And while this happens, a worm comes and it looks like it's going to attack her. She, reels back. She's worried. The worm ignores her and keeps going up and over the hill. This seems to get her out of the panic attack. I don't know how a giant worm attacking, almost killing her, gets her out of the panic attack, but it does. She runs up to see what happened, and just over this ridge, we see a pit that has this like weird energy thing in the middle. Looks almost like it's like sucking energy out, or kind of like it looks like a vortex or something. And it seemed to have been drawing this worm in, and when it got close, the worm died. And there are a ton of worm bodies around it. They send a drone that is watching, that has a camera feed towards it, and it gets close, and then that thing blows up too. So we're like, what is going on here? We don't really know. Now, when they all get back, they try to figure out what happened, and the crew starts talking, and they think it might be alien remnants, like it's alien artifacts or something like that. We think that maybe some alien synthetics might be on this planet, and that has glitched the surveys. That's why some of the maps are inaccurate. That could be what is going on. And I guess normally what happens is if there are alien synthetics and alien remnants, you need to stop surveying, but they're also very valuable. So we're not sure what all is going on. We think that maybe the company is trying to protect these alien remnants. I don't know why they would send people down here. If they were, that could be why they had like certain maps that were blanked out, because they didn't want them to actually survey those maps. And I'm not sure if the alien remnant is what is causing this vortex, or if that is a security measure to prevent people from like getting close to it. I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll find out a little more later. Now, this company, this scientist group, realizes that there's another survey company on this planet, and they want to contact them. Now, Murderbot gets worried that they're gonna like contact this place, they're gonna explore too much, they're gonna get killed, and then he's worried that if they get killed, he'll, get blamed for it. He'll be the defective security bot, and then they'll recycle him. Can't do much though, because he can't like reveal who he is. But they try to call this other survey company, and we find that everyone there is dead. And I'm like, huh, is this the massacre that Murderbot, remember that Murderbot keeps seeing? We don't know. We get a very brief glimpse of this other company. They're all dead now. The hippie company, the company from the Preservation Alliance, doesn't know this. They don't know that they're dead. They just say like, oh, they didn't pick up. But we all know that they're dead. Now, the group here, they say, hey, we're gonna go check it out. We should go, see what's going on there. And they want to take the sec unit. And that is where the second episode ends. So that is episodes 1 and 2 of Murderbot. There are some questions, a lot of questions, but the questions I kind of had is like, what happened to their survey crew? Are they the ones that Murderbot keeps seeing? Is he going to have a vision when he gets there, like a memory that gets jogged when he gets there, and he'll remember that? I don't know, maybe. Now, that crew seemed to have been freshly killed, but we don't know how it works here. We don't know how decomposition works here. We don't know anything about that. So it's possible that the Murderbot did this. He got refurbished and then is now sent back down. I don't know. We'll find out now. What is the Corporation Guardian? Is it alien remnants? Is it something else? Is it something, more valuable? Again, we don't know. We'll find out. Why didn't the security unit get any information about this? You would think that they might have given him information to help prevent the people coming there. But I guess also then there's a concern of like if his, hosts or people ask him to do something, he'll have to give it up. So maybe they're trying to intentionally keep the security unit in the dark. And also, my question, when will the show get much better? I don't know. I mean, again, I feel like there's a groundwork here that is laid that could get better. I just didn't really enjoy the first episode. I expected to like this a lot, given the cast. It's a sci-fi thriller. It, looks great. I expected to love this show. I'm not there yet. We will see what happens, but that is Murderbot episodes 1 and 2. It premieres on Apple TV Plus May 16, 2025. Like I said, I think you should wait on it. I don't think you should check it out just yet. See if it gets better. And if it does, come on in. But if you do watch it, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I'd love to hear it. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.